Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Preston, aka Mr. Travels, and I got my man Young Ryan in the building.
What's up? What's up?
And once again, episode 4. We got my man Young Earl now. He's in here,
Yes,
back to back. You know what I'm saying? Back to back.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. So today we're gonna try to bring it home. You know what I'm saying? We've been focusing on other cities and other countries, but today I want to talk about Las Vegas.
Yes.
I haven't been in Vegas since I was like 17, so my experience is going to be slightly different. So Ryan, so tell us about Vegas. I know that's one of your favorite cities.
Yeah, Vegas is definitely it's a fun city. You don't have to. It has that stereotype that it's only for gamblers. There's plenty to do. You don't have to be a gambling man, because I'm not a gambling man. I feel like you just putting your money down the toilet whenever you gamble. At least with my luck when it comes to gambling. So I work too hard just to be throwing money away like that. But I went to Vegas several times. My most recent trip was just last summer. We actually had a family reunion out there on my mother's side of the family. So we were deep. I mean, like 3 to 5 suites that we just all held down. But normally when you do budget, just like on the previous episode that Preston was speaking about, I definitely try to budget as far out as possible. So even though I didn't have to budget for the rooms because it was all timeshare, we still had the budget for flights. It was, for me, my wife, Taylor, and we actually brought our niece with us as well to keep Taylor company, because majority of my other family members, like cousins and so forth, they're quite older than Taylor. So we brought our niece along, and they got along great. Of course, it was like a teenage black version of Thelma and Louise with them out there. They just did their own thing. They're old enough to go out by themselves, so they were no problem at all. But to my point, as far as things to do, even though we was at Vegas, there's things to do even surrounding Vegas. One of my highlights for the trip was we did a tour of the Grand Canyon, which was beautiful, strictly beautiful. It's definitely something I definitely just cherished watching. And I know one of the episodes I have complained about me not being the tour guy person, waking up at the butt crack of dawn. This was one of the exceptions to the rule, because I really wanted to see the Grand Canyon. So it was with the Grand Canyon tour. The bus left at like 6. I want to say 5:30, 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? Coming from a guy like me, that's outside of my comfort zone.
That's not your box.
That's not my box. That's not my box. I'll be honest with you. Not my box. So we already made a commitment. Like I said, we budgeted this for advance. I want to say it was about maybe a little over $100 per person for this tour, and it was an all-day tour. Like, if I'm not mistaken, it was like I think it was like 4 hours from Vegas to get to the Grand Canyon.
Oh no, the drive was 4 hours?
Yeah, the drive was 4 hours. It was like 3-4 hours, bro. Like, so all I know is we got to that bus about 5:30, 6 o'clock, and we got to Grand Canyon about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And he was like, this is the section of the Grand Canyon we're on, and be back at the bus by like, I think it was like 7, something like that. So we had a huge chunk of time just to roam around just the Grand Canyon. They got like the little trail tour pass that you can just walk around there. And you can, of course, stop at any point and just take the huge picture of it. One of the things that I want to say, I'm not like the biggest adrenaline junkie, but one of the things that I was excited and scared to death at the same time about was they got like these little parts of the Grand Canyon where you can actually climb down a little bit.
Yeah,
So they got some parts you can climb down and get, and get on one of these ledges that go a little further into the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Being the adventurers that me, my wife, and Taylor are, we was like, let's try it. So, we was like, we about to go do this. And my niece Tristan, she's like, I'm cool. I'm gonna stay where this trail is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just hold y'all stuff. Y'all have I
Yeah,
have fun.
somebody got to tell the story.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody got to tell the story. And so that's what it was. You know what I'm saying? So
Shit, there they were.
yeah, like and I'll definitely post a picture of it. But it was beautiful. But like, just picture like this the Grand Canyon, and you got a ledge that goes maybe a good 50 yards further within the Grand Canyon, where you can just climb on top of that thing and just look down. Like I said, I was scared crapless. Like I was like, hey, one slip now. That's a tumbleweed into this big
Was it
red.
like rails or anything? Or you just kind
No,
of
no rails. This is stuff like you need to know how to maneuver up and down some hills if you want to do this. I mean, we're talking like fairly steep hills. You got to learn how to maneuver. So there was no rails, and
So you weren't worried about your life?
I was, but I was like, I
you
can't
gotta
have.
get the shot. You gotta get the shot.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I was like, I got to get the shot, baby. We got this daylight here. We losing daylight. I got to get this shot. We're gonna lose daylight. So.
Okay.
But like I said, no rails, and I don't know the number, but it has been reported. There's like there are like a certain amount of numbers of deaths on the Grand Canyon every year. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
I feel like there was a barrier, and y'all just kind of like just.
No, this part there was no barrier.
That's why I felt like there was that sign that said "Do not feed alligators," and y'all just like.
Nah. I ain't that type of travel. Like, nah, I ain't that type. But no, like because the Grand Canyon is so big, it's like they don't have rails everywhere, and like there was just like a huge number of folks, including me, Taylor, and Tanisha, where it was like, hey, ain't no rails here. We see that little fairly steep hill where if you're careful, you can go out to this ledge, take that picture, and you just climb your ass back up. So we did that. I got the picture to prove it that we all survived in one piece. But it was just
you're right here. Thank you.
Yeah, we're here.
What's the outcome? Did you make it?
Yeah, man. I died and came back, right?
You know what I'm
saying? Cliffhanger notes. But it was overall, that was a dope experience, man. Just to see the Grand Canyon alone. Of course, they got like restaurants, not plenty, but they got like a few restaurants out there along the path. Of course, some tourist attractions, some souvenir stuff you can buy there. They got certain parts of the ledge where you can look at like the binoculars for free to get like more of an in-depth view. But that's one of those attractions, in my opinion, where it's just you can't describe it, but it is worth looking at. If you're ever in, maybe not Vegas, but if you ever thought about taking a trip to the Grand Canyon, it's well worth it, man. But
I definitely want to go Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon is dope, man. Like I said, I mean, maybe you don't want to climb like to get to that ledge to get that closer view like we did, but it was fun. That definitely was fun. All day thing, like I said. So that was pretty much like day two. Day two was like, hey, because like day one, we flew in and got a room and stuff like that and just chilled. Day two was all Grand Canyon for me, man. It was great. Day two. Yeah. But as far as like the festivities around Vegas and stuff, period, man. Like I said, I mean, we're all older now. I remember when we all used to be younger, we used to shut down the club and stuff like that. But me and my cousins, we ventured out to a couple of day parties. That was fun. Pretty much, a day party, I guess, Las Vegas style. Where they got like like all these huge pools. Drunk folks everywhere. Your favorite hip hop music blasting, or EDM music if that's your thing. So that was dope. Like I mentioned, just for that as well. I mean, I've never been to a day pool party, well, a day party period, let alone a day pool party. But that way, I was super dope. I mean, like I said, so that way you don't necessarily have to be into the nightlife like that. But I can't remember if it's New York or if it's Vegas. But if it's not Vegas, I think Vegas needs to be put in that category of like the city that never sleeps. Like everything.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's the majority of stuff is just open no matter what time. No matter what time of the day that you go there, there's always something to do. Like I said, I know I asked her on the previous episodes about what was a nightlife like and stuff like that. Like I said, being that I'm older, I'm not into it as much. But sometimes if I'm on vacation and I feel safe enough, I will be like, I don't mind seeing what the nightlife is like. So one of those nights, my wife was just chilling with my mom, and my cousins wanted to see. It's some popular club out there, man. I forget the name of it. I think it starts with a P, but apparently, like it's like the #1 go-to club for a lot of like hip hop artists to go to.
Okay.
And I didn't get the memo. So a quick funny story. I did not get the memo, but apparently my cousins and my younger brother, mind you, my cousin and my younger brother, they bought their tickets in advance to see Big Sean. You know, he was performing in Vegas, like the advance tickets, mind you. And once again, we talked about how we like we try to budget for stuff, things of that nature. I had no idea about Big Sean being in Vegas. I had no idea they wanted to go see Big Sean. So the advance tickets to see Big Sean was $60 per person.
Okay.
And so I was like, yeah, I'm not paying that. But I was like, you know, but you know, like I said, I mean, and maybe I'm dumb. I'll raise my hand if I feel like maybe I just didn't read the room right. I'm like, look, it's 60 at the door. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they still charge, I mean, if it's 60 in advance, you know, if it was a few dollars more, sure, I want to hang with y'all. I don't mind paying like maybe 80 or something if I miss my opportunity. Let me rewind. I actually, when I did try to do the in advance tickets, it was sold out. It was sold out. So I was like, look, all right, I was too late on the memo. I missed out on the $60 tickets in advance. You know, I'm just here with y'all, just to kick it with y'all. If y'all going to this club, like I'll pay whatever's at the door. That was my statement. Whatever's at the door, I'll pay.
Oh, okay.
I get to that door. And mind you, this is Big Sean. Line is around the corner, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so sidebar, you sound like you trying to downplay Big Sean. Again, this is Big Sean. This ain't Jay-Z. Like, you're being real disrespectful right now to Big Sean. But
oh, no, I like Big Sean. I'm not trying.
No,
I'm not
but you
trying.
like, again, this ain't
Big Sean.
This ain't push.
It's about Big Sean.
We're talking about Big Sean. Well, anyway, hey. So I get to the joint, and then like, you know, line around the corner. It's like a mob to even get in there. You know how the club lines. There's never no organized line. So bouncers, you know, surveying everybody up and down the line. He gets to me. He's like, "Hey, whoever trying to see Big Sean is 120." I'm like, "I'm going home, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Y'all let me know how to pass it."
Yeah.
Ooh,
120. Big Sean.
It's 120, bro. I'm like, look, I got it, but I don't want to spend that 120. So
not for no Big Sean. I
missed out.
Not at this point. 120, hell no.
Yeah, I was like, y'all doubling the joint? I was like, no, I can't do that, boss. But
you should be mad at your brother and cousins for them playing and stuff outside of you. Y'all know y'all was gonna hang out.
Yeah. I was a little blown. I was a little blown with that. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. I mean, we still had a great time like during the date parties and just kicking it at other events. But the club thing, hey, it just wasn't meant to be. I wasn't meant to drop 120 on you know. Can't do it.
20, huh?
Yeah, 120. But as far as like the other festivity throughout Vegas, man, it was fun. The food out there was dope, especially with a simpleton food guy like myself. One of the real dope spots where I got like a really, really good burger was Wahlburgers is out there. Mark Wahlberg family, whatever. They got a spot out there. It's on this huge pavilion type of a section of the strip. And once again, just a city that never sleeps type of area, man. I mean, you come out the club after a hangover, you feel like a Wahlburger. So call that liquor right up.
Okay.
Real dope. I mean, I know you said you went as well, Earl. I don't want to hog up all the screen time. How was your experience when you went?
Oh, you know, when I went to Vegas, it's probably about, I want to say maybe 5 years ago, I think 5 or 4 years ago. So that was kind of like this is before I was like really starting to travel. So it was like kind of like just I woke up one morning and was like, hey, tell my wife, you want to go to Vegas? She's like, sure. I'm like, cool. So I planned a trip in like probably like 2 months, planned it all out. Found some really good cheap flights from Southwest to get there. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm going there. But I had, keep in mind, I had no budget whatsoever. So it's kind of like on the whim. So we get there and, you know, I find the hotel and I'm like, man, this hotel only won $20-something a night. I'm like, that.
20 a night.
I booked it. Yeah, you remember the Mace video, So Good?
Yeah.
When they was on the strip in Vegas.
Yeah, had the lights on like a bubble.
The lights on. I stayed in that. That's the hotel I stayed at. Right?
That's $20 a night.
That joint was. It's the reason why it was $20-something a night.
Oh.
So because I ain't do no research, right? I'm just like I'm just trying to find somewhere to lay the head down. I'm like, it's Vegas. Like, we're just gonna be out all day anyways. Like, I ain't worried about it.
Yeah.
So we get on the flight, we get there. So we're staying at this hotel. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, it's an older hotel. It's on the other side of Vegas, like the old strip of Vegas. Like it wasn't even on,
I know you talk. It was like near like Circus and all that.
yeah, so it
Yeah,
wasn't even
yeah.
on like the main strip. So that's kind of like where we stayed at. And then that's
Right.
when I first like started using like Uber, because I got a rental car for the first like day and a half that I was there. And you know what we did with the rental car was we went ahead and went to the Hoover Dam. Got the tour over there. It was actually a really good tour. I went ahead and paid a little bit of extra money to actually go inside of the dam and actually see how it actually works. But the crazy part is if you like claustrophobic or anything like that, I don't advise you going inside those walls, because there's certain places in the walls where you walk to, and then they had like these like little like openings that were like with the bars on it.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're in jail, right? So you could like walk to it, and then you could just like look out of it. I mean, the view was amazing, but then when you realize that you're inside of a dam, you just like, yeah, this is crazy. What if this joint just like falls apart right now? Like, what's gonna happen? So
yeah, you know, we saw the Hoover Dam on the way to and from the Grand Canyon as well. It is a beautiful sight.
Yeah, it's a really nice sight. And then, you know, while we were there, you know, one thing I didn't know about Vegas was when you stay in a casino that you gotta pay like it's like a deposit, like an additional deposit. I mean, it was only like $60, but I was like, dang, I wasn't even prepared to pay that. So, but I mean, it was refundable though. You know what I'm saying? I guess they take that just in case you go start gambling and
like incidental
money or whatever. Yeah. So, but I'm like Ryan. I don't gamble. My wife doesn't gamble, so no concerns there. And then like just as far as me and my wife when we were there, like we did a lot of things. Like there's a crime museum there, so we went to that. We seen a show. One night it was who did we see? It was gosh, what's that guy's name, man? The guy that used to be with Prince.
You're talking about the Blue Man Group, are you?
Nah, the guy used to be with Prince, man. What's that?
Morris Day.
Morris Day. Yeah. We seen Morris Day.
Yeah.
And then you remember the guy that was on the Dr. Pepper commercials, the guy, light-skinned dude with the little, he looked just like Prince. And he would be like on the Dr. Pepper commercials, be like, ooh.
It's the sweet one.
Oh, I don't remember his name either, but they did a little episode.
Little Richard?
They did a show. Like this started around the time when Prince died. Prince died? 2015, 2016?
I want to say 2016.
Yeah, so that's when I was there. So they did like a tribute show for like Prince. So that guy was actually like doing all the Prince, like he was covering all the Prince songs. Morris Day came out. I mean, it was pretty cool, man. Like I was kind of mad when we were standing in line to go in. What's his name? Cameo was there before doing a concert,
word.
like so we could just hear the walls just pumping, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, dang, I wish I would known that. I went and caught that show. But it's a lot of shows to go see and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
He also it's a hotel called the Stratosphere, I think it is.
Yeah. The Stratosphere is out there.
Yeah, so I don't know, Brian, if you've ever been in there, but
it's dope. I like it, man.
Yeah, I don't like heights, right? So first off, you got to get on this elevator and go up, like
straight up.
Then you got to get on another elevator and go up again. So you don't see nothing, right? Everything's enclosed, and as soon as you hit that top floor, ooh, buddy, let me tell you. I mean, we seen everything, bro. And I mean, the best thing about it was kind of like it was panoramic. So where you sat at on the floor, your table kind of moved with the floor, right? Kind of went around, like, so I mean it was pretty cool. It was pretty dope.
That is dope.
Like, so we did that, like we did that like 2 nights that we were there, just went and had dinner there. But no, overall, I mean, we had a good time. We hit all of the casinos just to see them.
Oh yeah, we did
took
too.
Pictures in them. Yeah. Just kind of like, and really we were like just really like kind of like bar hopping the whole time we were there, just kind of like just drinking, little appetizers here, and just having a good time. But it's a nice city.
Yeah, it is a nice city, and I do agree with you. Like I said, even though you don't gamble, as long as you're of age, you can walk in and out of any casino you want to. So And which if Preston, if you ever go again, like when you're older, maybe just to chill in Vegas and then do a day trip to the Grand Canyon or something like that. Let me tell you, like, if you and the wife and the kids ever like decide to like, venture up or down that daggone strip, like you're gonna want to venture up or down that strip via casinos because it's hot as hell out there. Like,
Oh yes,
that sun was leaning, boy. I ain't gonna front. I'm like, cause like the way the Vegas Strip is set up, right? Because like this, so like all the hotels are so tall and so everything looks a lot closer than what it really is. And so me and the wife and like Taylor and Trisha, we'd be walking. We're like, hey, the hotel's just right there. Look, we could tough it out. Man, about 5 minutes later, we're like, yo, let's go inside of his wait and about to wait at that Uber pickup, and we just gonna get a ride back to the hotel. It is too damn hot out there, and so
yeah.
there was definitely a lot of we can make it. Never mind, let's get an Uber for one moment.
Yeah, the funny thing was flying in because you could see from the airplane window, you could see like it's this desert and then the city just pops out of nowhere. You just like oh that's it right there. Okay. Yeah. Because the airport's like right there. Like I mean, I thought Vegas was gonna be huge. Mm-hmm. It's actually small.
It's small. Yeah. It's small, but it just packed so much into that small area, man.
I actually went in. I went in October. Yeah, and it was still hot. Like
really?
October.
Yeah, I made a mistake of going dead smack middle of the summer last year. We went like I went like maybe a few days after.
You went like June or July, right?
Yeah, I went like late June, bro. Like it was late June, early July because we was there. We was there for for the 4th of July. So we was there about we got in about late June and we flew out maybe the day after the 4th of July. And other small notes about my recent trip when I went out there. Me, Taylor, and my niece Trissy, we did go to the Madame Tussauds wax museum. Just yet another of hundreds of things you could do if you're not into gambling. So like I said, you don't have to. Vegas is not strictly a gambling city. Like I said, they got the day parties. They even have some for Taylor and Trissy, even though they're not 18. They got like a little pool area where they could just chill and feel like they're grown, but they're not grown enough for the for the 18 up stuff. But no, the Madame Tussauds wax museum is something I would highly recommend if you ever go. Preston I think your kids will love that because, like I said, I mean, it's like. Like not even at a quick glance, like the work is so real. Like the wax museum work is so real. Like it looks like that actual celebrity.
I've seen pictures of it.
Yeah, man. So that was real dope. So as I mentioned, man. So that's overall, it was a good experience. I wouldn't say Vegas is for everybody, even though it doesn't meet the stereotype of strictly being a gambling city. I do feel like if you're into a lot of family-oriented attractions. Like I said, the wax museums. Like I said, they got your pools. I'm talking about like, big pool pavilion resorts. They got like water parks.
Oh yeah, I've seen those too.
Yeah. So I mean, they got way much more you can do. But like if you but still, even with that said, I want to say Vegas is probably still better for those who are into the whole nightlife scene. Like if you want to go club hopping or bar hopping, like Earl was talking about earlier, that's probably more your scene. Like I said, that's why. Matter of fact, we went the day we went to, and it might have been like that when we were younger. I don't remember, but the day that we took the bus to Grand Canyon, like we rolling up to catch our tour bus, and we see clubs like just now letting out. We're talking 5:30. In the morning, they just not letting out, and I don't know if people were on Front Street out there, but there was a lot of people dressed like they were celebrities, and I had no idea who they were. I'm talking like $1,000 suits, all this high price name brand stuff, and it's like, I guess if you win in Vegas, I guess you got to play that role or whatever. But
I mean, Vegas is Sin City, so
yeah,
that's why like for me, I hear people always talking about. Them going to Vegas or whatever, but I mean, for real, what is Vegas known for? Gambling. Like, gambling and
clubbing,
you know what I'm saying? So, I do neither one of them at this point.
Sound like losing a lot of money.
It's not like you just putting money on top of money, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I do plan on going back because my wife's father lives out there now.
Okay.
So that part, as far as accommodations, I'm staying for free. So I just gotta get flights there. So yeah, we plan on going out there. Well, we was actually planning on going this summer, but you know, since that got nixed, you know, we're gonna look more to next year or whatever. But I do plan on going. Like I said, when I went, I was like 17, so could do anything.
Yeah.
So we went and we stayed at the Circus, you know, and that was for a 17-year-old. That was tight.
Yeah, it had the arcade in the joint and all that, right?
The arcade, the amusement parks. We are here. I think we did that every day. You know, ride roller coasters.
Yeah.
You know, we went up and down the strip or whatever. You know, the MGM, Luxor, and all that. New York. We did all that, but then like we went to the Hoover Dam. We went inside also. So like I said, I got to appreciate it. I don't think we was out there for that long. I can't really remember how many days. And we did a couple of things like the Ripley's, believe it or not. You know, we did stuff like that, and for me, that's, you know, it's not really a priority on my list. Because I'm telling you, if my father-in-law was not out there, I probably wouldn't care about going.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it was one of those things I feel like, you know, I need to do it and give it a second chance as an adult.
Maybe as an adult,
You know, I do want to see some things. And obviously the hotels are dope because, you know, you got the Venetian. And these are all old hotels. They got, like, newer hotels that make them old, hotels look better. I mean, not better, but, like, you know, look old and, you know, decrepit.
Right.
You stayed at the Luxor. Oh, I stayed at this other crazy spot, you know. So, you know, so I see it one day, but not a big deal to me, man. It's like Dubai. It's just a playground for adults. And it's just a cash machine, you know what I'm saying, to me. I'm not knocking anybody that enjoys those environments because, you know, you work hard and spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. But for me, there's no culture. You know,
there's definitely no culture there. I mean,
you're just there just to lose your mind for a week, and then you go back home to reality.
Yeah, as far as a culture, it's more so a tourist attraction. Just to say you went to Vegas.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I say I'm not gonna downplay Vegas to the point where I'm like, oh, it's, you know, it sucks, but you know, I mean, like I said, I'll judge it next year, and then maybe we do another segment on Vegas, and maybe I can have more to chime in on. But just from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem that big of a deal. Like, do y'all feel like y'all gonna go back?
I mean, I've went, like I said, this is like my third or fourth time going to Vegas, but it's not like, it's never been a thing where like I've went out my way to be like, yo, I gotta go to Vegas. It's just like every time I went, it just so happened that, you know, like, yeah, my family be going out there, and I'm like, all right, well.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so for me, it sounds like if it was no event, you wouldn't be planning no trips to Vegas.
I probably wouldn't, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so like you, Earl, would you go back out there?
No, I don't have no intentions on ever going
That's
back
what I'm
to
saying.
Vegas.
So
it was
something that you need to see, check it off your box, and be like, all right, you know, I'm good with that.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, like, oh yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, you like move on with your life, you know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll go back, but think about it. Who am I gonna go back with? Y'all my best friends. So if y'all ain't really trying to go back, I guess I ain't going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I do regret about Vegas was when I had that rental car, man. I should have just took that 2-hour ride to LA. It's like 2 hours to get to LA from Vegas.
No, it's like 4, right?
Yeah, that's 4. Like, yeah, it's like Grand Canyon is like 4 hours that way. LA is 4 hours the other way. I know. Because,
I should have.
Yeah, you went to
I know because I did it.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah.
One of our trips.
I regret that part of the trip because I'm like, I don't have no intentions on ever just going to LA. Like, it's not something that I want to do right now.
LA is dope. Like, if y'all go to LA, I need to roll with y'all. LA was fun.
I'm going to LA because I want to do the Conan and Brian show. That's my favorite talk show, so I'm definitely gonna be doing that one day. And they're free tickets, so I'm like,
yeah, why not?
But yeah, so yeah, that's cool. But that leads me into my next question or topic is, you know, with the going to the Grand Canyons and the Hoover Dams and stuff like that. You know, Ryan, like, and I'm sure you took a lot of pictures. So, you know, is this things like this? Did that get you into photography?
Absolutely, man. Like, I always enjoy, I always enjoy like making, taking something and just seeing what type of other angle that makes it really highlight whatever the key features are of that particular subject. Like for example, like how we're all just got the mugshot facing the camera.
Yeah.
Nah, I maybe want to get like a good side or some type of angle. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen a lot of shots where people just take like a little mugshot and they call it photography. And it's like, you took a picture, you know what I'm saying? But when
You
that's
like kneecaps.
you know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Exactly. It's like, but anybody could do that. So I just like, yeah. So what got me into it, definitely just really trying to enhance something that's already beautiful and just highlight whatever key features stick out to you the most. But like, it's funny, like, the whole photography thing kind of just fell into my lap. Like I wasn't even like ambitious to really do the photography side of things. Like when I went to Morgan State, the good old blue and orange, I, I actually went as a communications major, but I had more of a concentration on the video editing side or just the camera, work on the video camera side of it, not necessarily photography. And we can get into the video thing another day. But the photography thing kind of landed in my lap because after I graduated Morgan State, I had my internship with the Department of the Army, and my internship was at Fort Myers, which is right outside of Alexandria, Virginia.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget, like, of course you got your resume and you got all the things that you dabbled with in college and whatever experience you had. And I'll never forget, man, like I was an intern for the Department of the Army. I'm not a former military guy, none of this stuff. So of course I had to learn some of the rankings, like the lingo of the difference between a staff sergeant and a sergeant, or, you know, the different star generals and stuff like that. I had to learn that whole ranking. And but I'll never forget what got me into photography and how it kind of fell into my lap. There was like an award ceremony, like I forget what his ranking was, but some military officer was like getting an award for something.
Mm-hmm.
And my immediate supervisor was like, "Hey Ryan, I know you're new here. I need you to take this picture of this award ceremony." And I'm like, I'm saying, on the outside, I'm saying, "Sir, yes, sir, sure." But in the inside, I'm like, I've never taken a damn professional photo in my life. So I'm like, and he was like, "Ryan, this is your job." And he was, and like, I was nervous as hell. And like the two things that calmed me down was one, that same supervisor was like, "Hey Ryan, look, this is your show. Even though this is the award ceremony and we're honoring this guy, being that you're the photographer, if you, Ryan Poole, don't think the photo you took is good enough, I'm gonna need you to be bold enough to say, stop, let me take another photo." And still, I'm like, damn, that's a lot of pressure, boss. I mean, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Because you got to think about it. You got like a ceremony full of, like a auditorium full of family members and other service members, military people. You got this person receiving this award from a colonel at the time, and I'm just there like, okay, pose for the camera, count to 3, and I snap it. And so I'm like, you want me to stop the whole momentum? Like, hey, no, I need to take that photo again because, I messed up or whatever reason is.
Mm-hmm.
And like the second thing that calmed me down was we had like a photographer already at Fort Myers, and we did an internship for like the installation paper at the time, and the installation paper was called the Pentagram, which is weird at the time. The Pentagram being the name of the paper. And anyway, the main photographer of this paper, he just said, "If all else fails, Ryan, I know you're new to this. If all else fails, keep the keep the camera on automatic until you know what you're doing." I was like, bet. and, and my entire internship, that's how I was rolling. I was like, automatic, good picture, good enough for me. And then I finally was just like, look, I can't keep using this hack of cruising on automatic. I need to really learn about how to operate the computer. I mean, the camera. Yeah. So I just started reading like books about it. I took like some other online training courses about it, and that's when I started to get into like the real technical part of it, like learning what an f-stop is, learning about, how to adjust your depth of field. Depth of field meaning, you want your foreground image to be clear as possible, but you want the background to be blurry, or vice versa. Sometimes you want your foreground to be blurry, background to be clear. So, yeah, so stuff like that.
I need like a monocle. I need one of those Monopoly monocles in the top and listening to
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right. So that's when I really learned how to do it. So actually, the rest is kind of history. I mean, but so that's what really got me into photography. It was kind of had it in my lap, and I was just like, well, if this is a part of my job, I really need to know what I'm doing, because just me being, kind of a worrier at times, or maybe even overthinker, I was like, automatic can't get you through every situation. There's going to be a situation to where maybe, the room is too dark, and automatic is, have your camera on automatic it might not get you that result that you're looking for. So you really want to have your natural eye to be able to adjust to that specific, setting of the room. Because as I mentioned, automatic can't always save you if it's just not. If it's not there, it's not there.
So I had a question. So when the last time you shot automatic?
Last time I shot automatic, probably sometime like last August or so. And I'll tell you why. There are some times where, like, if it's like a long line of people that I know I just got to get through, I got no shame in putting it automatic. You know what I'm saying? Because
it's crap.
I got to get. I mean, yeah. I still make sure it looks good. I'll still make sure it looks good. But
sure thing, Brian. Sure thing.
Yeah. Oh, I got the proof.
You just told us automatic is trash.
No, I didn't say it was trash. I just mean, hey, if all else fails, put on automatic. Oh, it's trash if the setting, if the natural setting isn't right, it's trash. You know what I'm saying?
That's what you meant.
That leads me to another question for you, Brian.
Yeah.
For a novice like me, what would you suggest like I do to get like that perfect picture?
Actually, I think to get that perfect, well, first of all, I would suggest like a nice camera for you to get. One of the cameras that you could get is the EOS Rebel by Canon. Those are pretty nice beginner cameras, and not too much. It's like a couple $100, I want to say. Yeah, about maybe somewhere between the $400 to $600 range, depending on the type of edition of the EOS Rebel that you get. But for one, I'll definitely say I'll give you like a camera suggestion like that first. And also, I think half the battle, in my opinion, is shot composition. Shot composition meaning is how are you originally positioning your shot before you even take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to think of an example, like just anywhere, like if you look at like some of these, run-of-the-mill, no-name Instagram models, you know what I'm saying? You see they always shooting at this angle or that angle, whatever the case is. That's like an example of shot composition. You never really get like a straightforward mugshot, but you see them at this angle, or they're trying to emphasize a particular part of their body by positioning themselves a certain way to emphasize whatever feature they're trying to emphasize. So just starting out, I would suggest a nice camera such as the Canon EOS Rebel, and really just think about your shot composition, and it doesn't just have to be at a diagonal angle. It could just be whatever looks good to you, which takes time. It could just be whatever looks good to your eye. There's not necessarily a science behind what you think looks good to you as far as your eye is concerned.
That really only probably matters if you're trying to give it to a customer, or you got like, you're trying to give it to a magazine or whatever.
Exactly.
But they say you only want these type of shots or whatever.
Right.
It's whatever you think probably looks nice.
Yeah.
So my question is, on the a camera, and I know you say like, a good startup budget camera, but the lens is just as important, right?
Oh, definitely. Like the lens is definitely important. Like the type of camera I have right now, I have a Sony Alpha, a Sony Alpha R2. The body of the camera was like, I want to say it was like maybe $1,200, but like but the lens, but that's just the body of it. The lens was like another 1200-1300 itself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, like the lens is actually more important than the body of the camera, if you ask me. I mean,
That's what I heard.
yeah, like, and I don't have it with me, but I'll add a photo of it, you know, in post. But I got like a Tamron mirrorless lens, which is pretty pricey, but it really has adds a lot of detail to your shot. Like,
So
you know,
mirrorless is better to have mirrorless.
yeah. Well, it's your preference. I mean, I like a mirrorless one, but it doesn't have to be. But I like the Tamron that I'm working with. It's pretty
Okay.
nice. So yeah. But you know, if you seen, I could show some other photos, Earl, but like you can just tell the difference between like a regular camera and like this Tamron lens that I got, and like some of the gloss and just the other details that's been added to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, as I mentioned, that's really what got me into it was the internship, because I wasn't even checking for photography like that until it was kind of put to my lap. And even recently with like a few years ago with grad school, like I'm going to grad school for film, and one of the things that I remember learning about was how to actually develop photos in like via a darkroom, which I do see the benefit of that, because I do feel like whenever you're doing something, it feels you know, there's some type of justification to learning about the history of something or like the fundamental of something before automatically going to the digital age type of thing. I remember, you know, we did like a photography boot camp is what they called it, and you could not use a digital a digital camera. They assigned you an analog camera where you had the old school roll of film. You put that bad boy in that thing. You know, you got to take whatever type of pictures the assignment asked for, and which was all cool. But the part that got them on nerves every time was taking that stuff to the dark room, and you got to develop that stuff yourself.
You be in that joint like dipping in the water.
Yeah, you be with the pan like waiting for the dry out.
I ain't got the patience.
But the part that had, or at least the way they taught us at American University, the part that was the most annoying was, like I said, you know, the reason why they call it a dark room, if light gets to it, your roll of film or the stuff you just worked hard for is ruined. So there was this thing like, I mean, it's been a few years, so I'm sure I might get corrected on it. But you go into the dark room, you take your roll of film, you dump it into this box. You take this box and you have to, like, without looking, you gotta like maneuver the roll of film on like this hook so you can have your photos lined out properly. And like me, I got two left hands when I do anything worth crafting. And so I'll be in that thing all day. Like, yo, my roll of film is not catching on this hook in this mystery box that I gotta, develop. So, like I said, it was a benefit because I do realize how good we have it now. Because almost like our Vegas conversation, I don't see a scenario where I would need to do analog camera or develop something in the dark room again. I'm sure there's some type of developmental, perks to that. I just didn't have the patience to do that again if I could help it. But
we ain't never going back to that.
Nah. It's almost like almost like we're all sports guys. It's almost like basketball. How like everybody want to be like Steph Curry now and shoot threes. Nobody wants to learn how to do the 1-2 fundamental layup anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, if I know how to shoot threes, I don't want to do the fundamental layup anymore. I'm sorry.
Well, just like now, growing up, all that stuff is old stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole how you cuff and you got to do it, bro. You throw it like this and it goes in every time.
I don't care.
It's $100 million. This is what you're gonna get.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like I said, man. But yeah, man, photography, man, is so. Yeah, I never appreciated it. I never knew it was so important because I'm saying, man, like I looked through some of my photos, I'm like, this is trash. Like, like I didn't take my time to shoot it. I just took a picture, like a quick picture, and was like, oh, we're good. And now I regret that now because I've been to a lot of countries, a lot of cities that I didn't take, serious. So now the mindset of I want to take, 5, 10 photos of one thing just to try to get the best picture that I can, take.
Right, and one thing I definitely like about certain things about photography. I bought this huge sports book that I got to show y'all one time. It's like all these. It's about this really really nice photographer. I'm talking up there. His name escapes me, but at one point he was like Michael Jordan's like personal photographer or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And this whole book, it has like all these, like you don't even need to know the name. You don't need to know any. You don't need to read any detail. But if you look at the picture, you remember what sporting event this was at. Like I think one photo was like Mike Jordan about to do the free throw dunk from a thing.
Yeah.
And just from that photo alone, it already takes you back to that place of time. Like it's like,
Yes.
this was when he was going head to head against Dominique Wilkins. Like you don't need anybody to give you some type of disclaimer, nothing. You see that photo, you know what it is. And so that's so I like that's one thing I like about photos just from a personal standpoint. I could look at this photo and remember, oh man, I remember that time me and Tanisha, had a great time at Cozumel. I remember this time, I had with Taylor when it came to daddy-daughter night, stuff like that. So just certain pictures. I mean, like I said, you don't have to be a professional photographer with that. I'm sure you could look at a photo yourself. You went, Earl, and y'all could just remember that place and time automatically. So that's just another nostalgic things that I feel like photos can really enhance. Those are just memories that you will just immediately remember where you were, what you were doing when you see that photo.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, man, photography is dope, man. Like I said, it's needed, especially from my perspective. Like I don't, do it for a living, but I definitely do need to get better. I do need to get certain equipment for what I like to do, travel and, and produce some good pictures and create my scrapbooks or, however I want to use my photos, whatever, and just do better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, okay. So I definitely in later episodes want to hear more about, certain types of cameras, certain lenses, what you use certain lenses for, landscape, whether it's like modeling or, I guess, the whole portrait or landscape type feel.
Yeah.
When to use black and white, when to use color, the rustic look, I'm saying? Because I feel like I said, you go to school for it. So obviously, if you can get a degree in it, it's really in depth.
Oh yeah, it's definitely in depth, man. It's definitely in depth.
So for the average user like myself, I wouldn't care about all that, but I definitely would want to know the end state of, hey, this is how you get good pictures, or this is how you edit it, or whatever. Because like I said, I'm not big into the whole airbrushing thing. But yeah, like I said, I know that's gonna be down the line, future episodes. But yeah, it's a good starting point, you know what I'm saying, for our podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know we got to roll out soon, but one point I regret that I did not take a picture of to some form of fashion. When I was in Vegas, like I said, it's a whole city environment, really. Sometimes when you're on vacation, you do want to get ignorant in the sense of showboating and stuff like that. One thing I regretted was I rented a drop top Mustang convertible out there, and but I just had to do it one time, man. I just rolled up and down the strip in the ride with, with the missus on the side, about 3 a.m. Everything's still open. Man, it looked like a music video, man. It looked like a music video. So I was like, I felt like a boss. I felt like a boss for like 30 minutes. And then I returned the rental. After that.
That's good stuff right there, sir.
Hey, man. Yeah.
That gas, brother.
So what?
I said that gas. So like you just riding up and down the strip.
I just had the front on them one time. I had a drop top Mustang muscle car, just clean, bro.
But did you speed though?
I couldn't, not in the strip.
I don't know. I didn't drive.
Oh, you know Ryan not speeding. Get off my back.
Yeah, I'm not speeding anyway. Oh yeah, man. That's we got man. Yeah, I gotta talk about how y'all get on my back when I drive when we go on trips, man. I gotta do that.
Yeah, I know 10-2. He like, Nick, you'll pick your arm out, and be like making left turns.
Exactly.
But yeah, so oh yeah, that's what's up, man. Yeah, all jokes aside, man, it was a good talk, man, about the photography in Las Vegas, and we're definitely gonna have a Vegas Part 2 conversation because when I go, I want to add my little, ad libs in there, and hopefully I get a camera this year and start taking pictures and stuff, and we could get Earl involved because we don't want to see his kneecaps anymore.
Nah.
Okay, sir.
No kneecaps. All right, so.
All right.
But yeah, like I said, man, it was a good talk, man. And episode 4, we got plenty of more for everybody. And I want to thank our guest Earl for coming back for episode 4. And he definitely gonna be on just whenever he wants to jump on, man. Like I said, it's family. So yeah, man. So peace.
Good talk.
All right.